Welcome to this wicked Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. As you know, it's on Wednesday. It's Woman Wednesday. And I'm lucky because she came back again, joining me for Woman Wednesday as my guest co-host, Consuelo Vanderbilt-Costin. Thank you so much for joining me again.
Thank you so much for having me.
And, you know, you look wonderful today. And we have an array of women guests, women in business, women in politics, women in philanthropy, women in the arts. We have it all today.
Yep.
And I would suspect that for the most part of today, we're going to stay on the two-shot with you and the guest, and I'll just throw in a little question here and there, if you don't mind. But before getting into this Woman Wednesday show, I want to take a look down the street as we do every day. You know, Liquid Lunch comes to you Monday to Friday, 1 to 2 Eastern. And the New York Stock Exchange right down the block, Dow's down 1,200. So things are bad. It's probably worse for you than me, I would imagine. But it's bad for me,
I'm just
too.
not talking to any of the brokers.
You're not talking to anyone.
Not talking,
yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
I just think it's better to put, sometimes being a little, you know, in the dark.
Stay calm. The coronavirus is going crazy. We're going to break that all down. But we do have some breaking news right here. Bernie Sanders took a pounding last night from Joe Biden, and he's taking the podium now for an impromptu press conference to see what Bernie has to say if he's thinking about dropping out.
Which will determine the future of our country. Poll after poll, including exit polls, show that a strong majority of the American people support our progressive agenda. The American people are deeply concerned about the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality in this country, and the American people want the wealthy and large profitable corporations to start paying their fair share of taxes. Overwhelming support for that. The American people understand that the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. They want to raise the minimum wage in this country to a living wage of at least $15 an hour. And the American people understand that if our kids are going to make it into the middle class of this country, we must make public colleges and universities and trade schools tuition free. The American people understand that we can continue a cruel and dysfunctional healthcare system, and it is a me to see that even in conservative states like Mississippi, there is an overwhelming understanding that we are now spending twice as much per capita as do the people of any other country, while 87 million of us remain uninsured or underinsured. And this crisis, this absurd healthcare system, is becoming more and more obvious to the American people as we face the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic that we are currently experiencing. Imagine facing a pandemic and having 87 million people who are having a difficult time going to a doctor when they need. And the American people know, unlike Donald Trump, that climate change is an existential threat to our country and the planet, and that we need to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And the American people also know that we need fundamental transformation of a broken and racist criminal justice system, as well as a cruel immigration system that keeps millions of people living in fear. But it is not just the ideological debate that our progressive movement is winning. We are winning the generational debate. While Joe Biden continues to do very well with older Americans, especially those people over 65, our campaign continues to win the vast majority of the votes of younger people. And I am talking about people not just in their 20s, but in their 30s and their 40s. The younger generations of this country continue in very strong numbers to support our campaign. Today, I say to the Democratic establishment, in order to win in the future, you need to win the voters who represent the future of our country, and you must speak to the issues of concern to them. You cannot simply be satisfied by winning the votes of people who are older. While our campaign has won the ideological debate, we are losing the debate over electability. I cannot tell you how many people our campaign has spoken to who have said, and I quote, "I like what your campaign stands for. I agree with what your campaign stands for, but I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because I think Joe is the best candidate to defeat Donald Trump." End of quote. We have heard that statement all over this country. Needless to say, I strongly disagree with that assertion. But that is what millions of Democrats and independents today believe. On Sunday, I very much look forward to the debate in Arizona with my friend Joe Biden. And let me be very frank as to the questions that I will be asking Joe. Joe, what are you going to do for the 500,000 people who go bankrupt in our country because of medically related debt? And what are you going to do for the working people of this country and small business people who are paying on average 20% of their incomes for health care? Joe, what are you going to do to end the absurdity of the United States of America being the only major country on earth where health care is not a human right? Are you really going to veto a Medicare for all bill if it is passed in Congress? Joe, how are you going to respond to the scientists who tell us we have 7 or 8 years remaining to transform our energy system before irreparable harm takes place to this planet because of the ravages of climate change? Joe, at a time when most young people need a higher education to make it into the middle class, what are you going to do to make sure that all of our people can go to college or trade school regardless of their income? And what are you going to do about the millions of people who are struggling with outrageous levels of student debt? Joe, at a time when we have more people in jail than communist China, a nation 4 times our size, what are you going to do to end mass incarceration and a racist criminal justice system? And what are you going to do to end the terror that millions of undocumented people experience right now because of our broken and inhumane immigration system? Joe, what are you going to do about the fact that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and are living with the fact that 500,000 people tonight are homeless and 18 million families are spending half of their income to put a roof over their heads? Joe, importantly, what are you going to do to end the thing in my power to make that happen? On Sunday night, in the first one-on-one debate of this campaign, the American people will have the opportunity to see which candidate is best positioned to accomplish that goal. Thank you all very much.
Senator, why do you think you lost critics that say that New York Senator, do you need to do better with black voters? Good talk.
All right, so you heard it here, and we're covering everything you need to know every single day, even the Democratic primaries, and very unusual press conference right there for Bernie Sanders just a couple of weeks back. He was high and mighty and in the lead. Now Joe Biden's had a resurgence. He's got all kinds of establishment behind him. And Bernie, while some thought he might drop out today, did not. Just to recap, Bernie Sanders did not drop out. Said he's looking forward to Sunday's debate with Joe Biden, and he'll reassess after Tuesday. And he kind of, according to my managing editor, Frank Morano, he kind of said he was going to be auditioning, Joe Biden to see if he can handle it before he drops out. So we'll keep you posted on all that. Consuelo Vanderbilt-Costin joins me all day today. And coming back after this, you're not going to believe it, but Luisa Diaz is here with us also. She's former Miss Venezuela and best-selling author of an unbelievable book, Sexy is Timeless. And hopefully she's going to think I got some timelessness in me. But we'll take a quick break, come back with more Liquid Lunch right after this.